How's it going, guys? In this video, we're going to talk about structs or structures in Unreal Engine. Now, structs are pretty easy to understand and they can be very useful, but there are some nuances to managing them properly, so stay tuned because I have some pretty good tips that'll save you a lot of headaches. So to demonstrate structs, what I'm first going to do is create a new blueprint. It's just going to be an actor, and we're just going to call this BP_base weapon. And we're just going to use the example of a weapon to demonstrate structs throughout this video. So what exactly is a struct? Well, a struct is essentially just a container of data types. You can also think of it as a custom data type that's made up of other data types. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but you've actually probably already used structs without even realizing it. If you've ever used a vector, for example, vectors are actually structs. So if I create a vector over here, and I drag this out and do a get, you'll notice that if I right-click the output pin here, we have this option that says split struct pin, and that's because a vector is a data type that's made up of other data types. A vector is made up of 3 floats, one for the x, one for the y, and one for the z. Now, floats themselves are not structs because they can't be broken down into smaller components. Just to show you another example of a struct that's built into the engine, let's grab event hit. So if you've ever used hit events or collisions, you'll notice you get this out hit here. And if I drag off of this and do break hit result, this is basically the same thing as splitting the struct pin, except it's a lot cleaner. And it has some other uses that we'll look at later. But I want you to notice that this data type here can be broken down into several other types of data. So we have booleans here, we have floats here, we have vectors here, actors, and so on and so forth. Now, as I just said, vectors themselves are technically structs. So yes, you can have structs that are made up of other structs. I can pull off of this vector and break vector and break it down even further. I can also right click here on this impact point, which is also a vector, and split struct pin. And again, it's made up of 3 floats. So now let's talk about how you make your own user-defined struct. So let's just delete this vector. We're not going to need it. And to create your own structure, what you're going to do is go into the content browser, right click, go to blueprint, and choose structure. We're just going to call this S_weapon data. Now, structs are commonly used for making things like inventory systems and dealing with item data management. We're obviously not going to make an entire inventory system in this video because that's way too complicated. But we're going to continue with the example of dealing with weapon data. So let's open this struct, and you're going to see by default we just have a boolean here with the name member var 0. So what we'll do is we'll start populating this with the type of data we're going to need to define a weapon. So a weapon might have a name, so we'll call this weapon name, and maybe it has a durability, so we'll make that a float and we'll call this weapon durability. Maybe our inventory system is gonna grab data from this struct, so we're gonna want an icon, so we can add one called weapon icon and set this to a texture 2D. And I guess for demonstration, we'll just pretend that we're gonna be making a gun, so we'll do something like max ammo, which would be an integer, and so on and so forth. Now, if you want to, you can come to this tab here that says default values, and you can define some class defaults in here. So whatever you set in here is what the struct will have by default when you add it to your class. So let's just go to the name variable here and let's just type something like insert name. You don't have to do this, it's up to you. But now if we go back to our BP base weapon, we can come over to the variables panel, add a new variable, and we'll call this weapon data. And in the data type dropdown, we can now type S_weapon data. And if we compile and look over here in the details panel, we now have that struct and all of that data available to set for a given weapon. And you'll notice that our weapon name starts out as insert name. All right, so we have some stuff to work with. Let's just put some data in here. Let's just say the weapon name is AKM. The weapon durability will be, I don't know, 1000. We'll just pick a random icon, and the max ammo we'll set to 30. So just like with any other variable, you can drag this out and do a get. And right off the bat, there's really not much you're going to be able to do with this output. A lot of the time, you're going to have to split this and deal with the individual pieces of data. So let's start out by just printing out the name of the weapon. So we'll print string. And obviously, this is just going to print AKM. Let's bring our actor into the world. Hit play, AKM, good. So that's simple enough, but what about setting data in a struct? And this is where some of the nuances come in. Now, I'm going to show you the less than ideal way to do this. This is something I'm guilty of having done for a long time. And then I'm going to show you the better way to do it. So, for example, let's say that each time we fire this AKM, we want to decrease the weapon's durability. So to demonstrate this, what I'll do is I'll add a key press event here. So key, and just choose any one of these, go up here, and I'll just set it to P. Okay, and if we drag out and we do set, well, there's really nothing we can plug into here other than another weapon data. So what we're going to have to do is split this. And then let's say, for example, we want to decrease it by 10 each time we fire the weapon. So what you might be tempted to do is split this and then subtract 10 from weapon durability and plug this in here. But you're going to notice a problem. If we do this, we will decrease the weapon durability by 10, but we're going to be setting all of the other variables back to their default value. So if I come out here and I print string, and then let's just grab another one so it's not messy. We'll split this struct pin and we'll just print the weapon name. So what'll happen is on begin play, we'll print the values that we have set. We'll press P, this will happen, and then we'll print out the value of the weapon name. And you're going to see that when I do that, it's going to set the variable's weapon name back to insert name. So real quick, we have to select our actor and make sure auto receive input is set to player 0 so that that key press will work. And if I hit play, you'll see on event begin play, we get AKM. Then if I press P, now it's insert name. So you might be thinking, okay, well, I can just plug all these other values back in from the get, and that should fix the problem. Now this will fix the problem. I'll demonstrate right now. AKM, and if I press P, we get AKM. But this is really messy and cumbersome to deal with, and if you're doing all kinds of stuff throughout many classes with this struct, having to do this over and over again is both messy and error prone, and there's a much better way to do something like this that took me a while to realize. So let's look at the better way to do this. So what I'm going to do is delete all of this, and we'll get our weapon data. And what we'll first do is we will pull out of this and we will break the weapon data like I showed you before. So if you select this break weapon data node, up here in the right, you'll see that we have the different values with booleans that say as pin. So I can uncheck the ones that I don't need. So we don't need the name, we don't need the icon, we don't need the ammo. And now I have a node that's just giving me the weapon durability. Now we want to subtract 10 from this. And now to set our weapon data, we can pull out of this and we can type in set members, and you'll see set members in S weapon data. So I want you to notice that the input on this node is this diamond shape, and it says by ref when you hover over it. It's a little bit outside of the scope of this video, but what that means is we're passing this in as a reference. And so even though this is going in as an input, its value will still get changed by this node. And again, if we select this, I want you to notice over here that we're able to select the different values that we need. So in this case, we're trying to set the weapon durability, so we can check that. And now if we plug this into here, the only value that's going to get changed is the one that we exposed, so the weapon durability. So now if I print the string after we do this, you're going to notice AKM and then AKM. And to demonstrate that this is working, we'll also print out the weapon durability. And you'll see AKM. The AKM stays the same, but the weapon durability decreases. And this overall is much cleaner and less cumbersome than splitting the struct pin and plugging all the individual values that we don't want to change back in, and it's a lot less error prone. Now, there's one more thing I want to talk about in regards to structs, but in the past, if you changed the data in your struct declaration here, and that struct was in use in your blueprint, it would cause a whole bunch of errors. I have noticed that in Unreal 5 and later, the engine has gotten a lot better at dealing with this, but it's something that you have to still be very careful of. So if I go in here and I add a variable, it really doesn't matter what data type it is. We'll just call this some name and save. In earlier versions of Unreal Engine, this would have completely broke. You would have had to come in and refresh every single reference to your structure and then replug everything back in. If I compile this, you're going to see it doesn't really do anything except it adds this some name pin here on the get node. And again, the engine has gotten a lot better at dealing with this, but if you do something like delete a value that's in use in your graph, this will still obviously break. So we're using this weapon durability. If I delete this and save it and go back to the weapon blueprint, you're going to see that we get these red pins now because this value no longer exists. And if I try to compile, we have all these errors. And in this particular case, it's not that big of a deal. We can easily fix this. You're going to see if I refresh the node, it disconnects that pin because it no longer exists in this structure. But if you have this structure in use, again, all over the place in different graphs and whatnot, this is going to become a real pain to handle. So overall, my suggestion is be very careful when changing structs. Regardless of whether or not you have to change a struct, I definitely recommend looking into source control and being hooked up to source control. And if you do have to change a struct, definitely make sure all your other changes are pushed first so that if everything breaks, you can revert the change. We're not talking about source control in this video. It's way outside of the scope. But that's my suggestion when it comes to editing structs. Now, one more thing about structs, and we're not going to go too deep into this. This is a topic for another video, but it's good to know that structs are used for data tables. So in order to make a data table, you have to define its structure using a struct. So it's another good use of structs. So what we'll do is we'll make a new one. And we'll just call this s_item data. Maybe we want to make a catalog of all of the items in the game. And just like the other one, we'll create a name variable, item name. We'll add an actor class reference. Oops. And we'll make this item class. And so on and so forth. Whatever type of data you need in your data table. And now if we go into miscellaneous and data table, you'll see that it wants us to pick a row structure. So if we type s item data and click OK, we now have our new data table. If I open it, you're going to see that the columns are laid out according to that structure. So we have item name, item class, and item stuff. Again, this isn't a tutorial about data tables. That's a topic for another video, but it's good to know that structs are a core part of data tables. And yeah, that's really all there is to this video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can leave them in the comments down below. You can also feel free to join my Discord and ask me questions there. I'll do my best to get back to you. If you enjoyed this video, please consider slapping a like on it. For more content from me, consider subscribing, and I wish you all the best of luck in your projects.